Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is verbos in Espanol, that is verbs in Spanish. So we are going to see what are verbs and what are the major categories of verbs and how do you conjugate them, what actually conjugation is, and how do you make sentences. So in order to see how to make sentences, please keep watching this video and please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button so that you are able to receive more such videos based on Spanish language and learning Spanish right from the start. So, los verbos en español son palabras que expresan acciones. The verbs in Spanish are words that express actions, state or process, and is conjugated according to tense, medium, person or number. So let's classify these verbs. When we classify these verbs, these are classified into three categories: AR, ER and IR. Now you must be wondering, what is actually verb? What is verb in actuality? What is it? So verbs are anything that describes an action. So for example, when you say I speak, you speak, he, she speaks, all these are actions that you do, right? Speak, eat, talk, sleep, anything that you do is a verb. Now when you want to say something in Spanish, then you conjugate the verb. So if you must have seen when we used to study Sanskrit in school in our younger days when we were in school, so we used to have conjugations to Sanskrit, right? In Hindi we don't even pay attention to it because the grammar is so natural, it comes so natural to us, so we don't pay attention to it. Same is with English. But what happens in Spanish, you have to change the verb according to each pronoun, just as you do in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit conjugation, that's why they say Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. Conjugation of, so you say patiti, patita, patant, right? You have conjugations to it. Let's see the conjugations in Sanskrit language. Do any of you remember what were the conjugations in Sanskrit language? In our school days, we used to always study the conjugations of Sanskrit, and we used to memorize those conjugations, right? So for example, bhu, to be, right? Bhu, to be. So you have third person, second person and first person. So you say bhavami, bhavasi, bhavati, right? Bhavatah, bhavatha, bhavav, bhavanti, bhavatah, bhavam. So what I'm trying to say here is that we used to have conjugations to verbs in Sanskrit. Similarly, you have conjugations to verbs in Spanish. So for example, if there's a verb, let's say hablar, which means to speak. In Spanish, hablar means to speak. How will you conjugate that verb into Spanish? So if the verb is hablar, which means to speak. Now I told you there are three kinds of verbs: verbs that will end with AR, verbs that will end with ER, and verbs that will end with IR. In Spanish, this is what happens. So hablar means to speak, to talk. Okay, what is conjugation? Conjugation is when you change the verb according to each pronoun. What is a pronoun? Pronouns are I, you, he, she, we, you all, they. So basically there are 6 pronouns: I, first person; you, second person; he, she, third person; we, first person plural; you all, second person plural; and they, third person plural. So I, you, he, she, and we, you all, they. In Spanish, yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So if the verb is hablar, which means to speak, yo hablo means I speak. Tú hablas means you speak. He, she speaks means él, ella, usted habla. We speak is nosotros hablamos. You all speak is vosotros habláis. Ellos, ellas, ustedes means they. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hablan. They speak. Okay, so with every pronoun you change the verb, and this is why this is why it is called a conjugation. You have to follow a conjugation here. In English this does not happen because I speak is I speak and you speak is also speak, so the word speak does not changes, whereas he, she speaks changes, only the third person changes to speaks, otherwise it's all speak. So I, you, he, she speaks, then they speak, so the word speak does not change, whereas in Spanish you have to change according to every pronoun. Then for the present tense, as we're doing the present tense right now, you need to remember the conjugation. Now there's a certain trick to it. What you can do is,